to Guitarnivore. I'm Scott. Today we're obviously doing a tone tutorial for Hatebreed's I Will Be Heard from their 2002 album Perseverance. Nobody asked for it, but I was kind of listening to music the other day and that song came up and I just wondered why I never learned it. So I started playing with it and I'm like, well, why don't I just do a tone tutorial for it? Because it's a cool tone. It's nothing spectacular. And when I've said before that all of these distorted tones are going to start sounding the same, well, they technically kind of do, but there's little nuances in the EQs that set them apart. And this one was no different. I kind of fought with this one a little bit. And at one point I thought I had it. When I heard it in the mix, it just had too much highs in it, so I had to kind of figure out where to dial that back. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first and foremost, you need to tune your guitar to C standard. If you don't know how to do that, I suggest you learn. Plenty of videos on YouTube on how to tune your guitar, and you're going to have to tune it a little bit low. It helps if you got heavier strings on there, slightly, maybe 11s. You don't have to go too drastic on that part. But just get some heavier strings on that, and you may or may not have to make a slight truss rod adjustment. So C standard, I'll put it up on the screen somewhere over here. I don't know. So now that you got your guitar all tuned up, let's take a look at the chain. We're using chain 2-2 because I'm putting a compressor in front of the booster and everything else I've got after the amp. So with chain 2.2, we're using a crunch amp with the gain at about 63 and the volume at 87. Now, I do have a compressor pushing it, which gives it a really big boost along with the booster. So let's take a look at the bass. I got it set at 55s. I got the mid up at 62 and the treble at 57. I'm using a modern amp resonance, cabinet resonance, and I've got the presence set at 63. Going over to the booster, I'm going to be using a T-Screamer, good old tube screamer. I'm going to be using it as a boost for the crunch amp, and I've got the tone set at 12, the +8 on the bottom, effects level at 50, and I've got the direct mix at 76. I've been playing with this a lot lately within all my different boosters, so that's something I think I said in my last Soundgarden video. I highly suggest you play around with that if you don't know what it does. It kind of gives a mix of the clean and boosted signal, and some of them sound like crap if it's turned all the way down, and I didn't realize that. I just thought they sounded normally like crap. But once you start playing with it and turn it up, it sounds great. So without the boost, we're sounding kind of just flat. So we turn on the tube scream, and it's an immediate improvement. That's not part of the song. I just screwed up. I was trying to do part of the song. We got our boost going. Let's take a look at our mod that I said we had a compressor in front of the boost. Now I'm just using a Boss compressor, level set at 56, tone at 2, attack at 44 and 68 just to give us a little bit more sustain. Now once we turn this on, we're going to have a significant boost on it. So with it off, with it on. When I first turned it on, I couldn't really tell. I had to make sure. And we're almost there. All we got to do is kind of tweak the EQs and we'll be right alongside it. Now for effects in this patch that you can download, you got two options, Be Heard and Be Heard Harmony. Now for the mix, I use the Harmonist just to kind of add another layer of it, making it sound like it's two guitars side by side. So without it, you kind of hear, and you turn it on, it's a little wider. It sounds like there's two guitars there. And I've just got that set really low. I've got it set in unison, and the HR1 level at 19, pre-delay at 53, feedback at 19, and the direct mix at 100. I do have an analog delay on here, 430 milliseconds on the delay time, 33 on the feedback, 22 on the level, and 100 on the direct mix, the high cut at 4, and it just gives it just a little response back there. I've got no reverb, no contour. I do have parametric EQ going out, +7 decibels on the low gain, 0 on the mid, 63 hertz on the low cut, 250 on the low mids. The Q's set at 1, +2 on both high mid and high gain, 1.6 in the kilohertz on the high mid frequencies, and the high cut at 4. And over here, I've got it set at 4 decibels. Now, I did have it set at 5 originally, but it just sounded like too much. I had to dial it back because it didn't sound quite muddy enough. It sounded a little too sharp. So with that off, now, if you want to play this song, but you don't want to tune your entire guitar down to C, you can really just use pretty much the first 4 strings. You don't even have to do you don't even have to do the 4th string, the G string. You can leave that one there, or you can figure out where that note is. It's at the 9th fret at the beginning, or you just don't do that, and then you just tune the top 3. I believe it's C, F, and A sharp. That's what you can do. So just do those 3 strings, and you can pretty much play the whole song on these top 3 strings without down-tuning your entire guitar, if you want to just play the basic rhythm section. Moving on to the graphic equalizer. I've got it at amp in. So as you can see, you can pause it, set these up. I'm not going to read them off to you. It's kind of boring when I do that. So you can see what these settings are right here going all the way across the board. Now, if you're using the Mk2 50, you may have to make some adjustments to make it sound a little more full. Maybe even just use the deep cabinet resonance, or just add some lows and some mids just a little bit in there. So once you got those, we're all set. I do have noise suppressor set at 50 because without it, you get all sorts of noise. So set that noise suppressor at 50, and we're all set. Let's hear it in the mix one more time, and then we'll close it out.
So the words we prevail, so our voices will be heard. So the words we now is the time for me to rise to my feet. When you spit from my face, I will be. I will be heard. I will be heard. These tears from my eyes, I will be.
So there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. It's not a spectacular tone or anything by any means. If you want to use it for different Hatebreed tunes, I think it'll work with just about anything else. I was playing around with Destroy Everything, and it sounded about right on that. So you can play around with it, make it your own, make some adjustments, and have fun with it. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button for me. If you like this video, I think I might have already said hit that like button. And we'll see you next time.